Today we're looking at the win for women's rights that took place in Texas, Nazis getting booted out of the German police force, Elon Musk offering to pay for your legal bills, and a family that was evicted from their house when it was unknowingly sold away. But first, this. If that isn't the face of I just shit myself, I don't know what is. Sup, internet? Welcome back to the weekend roundup episode of the Insight Hour. I'm so glad you could make it, so let's not drag this out any longer and get right into it. Alice, story one, please.
In Austin, Texas, a judge has ruled that the state's abortion ban is overly restrictive for women facing serious pregnancy complications. As a result, exceptions must be made without doctors fearing potential criminal charges. This decision marks the first significant challenge to the Texas abortion law since its implementation in 2022. Advocates for abortion rights view this case as a potential model to challenge similar restrictions in other Republican-led states.
So basically, State District Judge Jessica Mangrum took a look at the state's abortion ban and said, you know what, this might be a tad too restrictive. And by tad, I'm sure she meant like trying to squeeze an elephant through a keyhole. The decision grants a temporary injunction preventing Texas from enforcing the ban against doctors who, in good faith, terminate pregnancies due to complications that pose a risk to the mother. The injunction also covers cases where the fetus is unlikely to survive post-birth or when the woman's condition is worsened by the pregnancy. However, and of course it was, the ruling faced an immediate appeal to the Texas Supreme Court, rendering the injunction ineffective for the time being. Additionally, despite the ruling, any immediate implications remain uncertain, especially since all abortion clinics in Texas have closed over the past year. Alice, can you bring up the story about the German police next?
For the second time in recent months, a group within Germany's security forces has been implicated in sharing Nazi imagery. Prosecutors have unearthed chat messages from 5 police officers across 3 different districts in the North Rhine-Westphalian region. These messages contained not only Nazi symbols, but also evidence of child pornography. Annette Milk, leading the investigation, has identified the officers, all between the ages of 22 and 25. 3 hail from Recklinghausen, with the others from Cleve and Borken.
So last week, the homes of the 3 officers were searched, revealing more about their dark web of communications and how their behaviors had first started during their dual bachelor's degree training. Interior Minister Herbert Reul, sorry if I got that wrong, criticized the officers, emphasizing that both young and senior officers must uphold the law. And to that, I say, no shit, Sherlock. It's kind of in the job description, isn't it? Protect and serve. Not share and shock with inappropriate content. So like Alice was saying, this isn't the first scandal of its kind. In fact, over the past 6 years, 105 incidents of right-wing extremist behavior has been penalized within this police force alone. At this point, it's less an isolated incident and more of a, why is this still happening sort of scenario. I guess in a way it's comforting to know that it's not just American cops that are, let's say, a little off. Anyways, when stuff like this happens, it only furthers undermining the public's trust in the institutions meant to protect them. But who actually needs trust? Alice, let's talk about Elon.
Elon Musk has big plans for the platform formerly known as Twitter, now rebranded as X. On a recent Sunday, Musk assured X users that the platform would cover any legal expenses for individuals facing unjust treatment from employers due to their activities on X.
So, Elon's telling his users to inform the platform if they feel unfairly targeted for their posts or likes, promising financial support to help fight for what he deems free speech. I'm just kind of curious to see what sort of speech is really going to get covered by X. Spoiler alert, I bet you there's going to be a lot of hate speech. After all, research by the Center for Countering Digital Hate shows that hate speech and disinformation have been, quote, spreading like wildfire on the platform under Musk ownership. Anyways, going beyond the protecting free speech thing, Musk apparently has plans to transform X into a multifunctional everything app. Apparently, X has been exploring becoming a stock trading hub by integrating live market data amongst other investment features. This build on existing capabilities launched in 2022, allowing users to easily create financial information on stocks via cash tags. A previously announced partnership with eToro could also enable stock and asset trading directly within X. Musk has hinted at inspiration coming from China's WeChat super app that combines messaging, social media, payments, and more in one platform. While no work has officially begun, Musk envisions X as a highly beneficial service to the world in line with his grand vision. The inspiration from China's WeChat, while innovative, raises concerns about centralization and potential for misuse. A single platform that controls messaging, social media, payment, and stock trading could wield immense influence over its users and broader society. Furthermore, while the integration of financial services like stock trading is innovative, it's essential to ensure that the platform remains transparent, fair, and doesn't exploit its users. The intertwining of social media and financial services could lead to potential conflicts of interest, misinformation, and undue influence on market behaviors. But remember, this array of new features is on the horizon, so hopefully we'll have plenty of time to flush out all the minor details. Or major details.
Recent reports have been emerging shedding light on Dina Woodward and her family following Mayor Brandon Scott's removal of owner-occupied homes. Woodward's family was forced to leave their home of 50 years on Monday, after the investment company that owned the house had sold it from under them without notice.
Okay, so let's get a little context. In 2017, Deanna Woodward celebrated the full payment of her house. However, a year later, she faced challenges with her ability to pay the water bill. Unfortunately, the City of Baltimore's Finance Department policy, which Woodward was unaware of at the time, allows for the sale of an owner-occupied residence if there's an outstanding final notice bill of $750 or more. What's worse is the sale can go down without the homeowner being informed. And of course, because corporation's gonna corporation, Woodward's house was sold a total of 3 times without her knowing. Sadly, the current investment company, or the now owners of the property, have initiated the eviction process against Woodward, and sadly enough, a court has ruled in favor of the investment firm. You know, I feel like while governments and institutions have a role in maintaining order and collecting dues, they should also ensure that their actions result in the greatest good for the greatest number of people. Policies like this, while efficient for revenue collection, doesn't really consider any broader social implications and the harm it could do to individuals like Woodward. The fact that Woodward was unaware of the policy and subsequent sale of her house is just another example of a law that isn't meant for normal people, but of a law that was tailored for a specific class of people. You know what, that about wraps it up for today. Paying attention to the world gives me a little bit of a headache. I don't know about you guys. So until then, I'm Digi. Stay safe, stay weird, and I'll see you next time.